Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. Here I'm doing, this is just a basement area and a set of stairs. And you can see where the couch was sitting. Quite soiled, quite stained in here. There's actually quite a few stains on this carpet. Traffic lane over there as well. This is Triexta, about 5 years old, I believe. And we got a little bit of a hallway over here, and there's a couple of stains there. A set of stairs going up as well I'll be doing. But anyway, so my plan was to, after vacuuming it well, I treated all these areas with suspend with stabilized CO2 in, and there's quite a few like really dark spots. Something's been spilled onto the carpet or something. I'm not really sure, obviously. But anyway, so I'm going to use a Hogs-Dry fiber pad, and I'm going to do a two-step. I'll be using a two-step with a Hogs-Dry fiber pad and then Ironman to extract. And one thing I just wanted to mention briefly here is I wanted to do a video of the couch I did upstairs, but I didn't do it because the lady was sitting like 10 feet away from me while I was doing it. But what I did is a few videos back I probably mentioned that my E600, Esteam E600 heated extractor, the pump had basically bailed on it, so I didn't have that available to me. The new pump is on the way. Had a little bit of a rigmarole to go around to get one, but I did find it out of Calgary from Safety Express. If any of you guys out there are using these in Canada, I think that's actually where they're made. But anyway, so they had the pump, not a big deal. But opening up the machine was a challenge, trying to figure out how to get at it. But I spent an hour or so or longer trying to figure that out, and then finally I think I was doing that on a weekend, and then on the Monday I called up back to Clean Equip in Ontario. They sell the machines, and the repair guy there, he was able to explain to me how to open up the machine. There's a hand knob. Go on upstairs. Go on. You reach into the recovery tank, and there's a hand knob that you undo, like a star knob, and you undo that, and then you can separate the recovery tank from the rest of the machine. The motor, vacuum motor is attached to that. There's a attachment wire coming out of the motor. You can just unclip it, and then the tank comes off, and so you can get at the pump and able to get it out pretty easy after that. Anyway, I'll do a video on that when I get the pump in and sort of go into a bit more detail to help you guys out there who might have one of these machines. And periodically there are things we have to repair and maintain or whatever. I'm very impressed with the way the machine is built, put together. Once you figure out how to get it apart, it's actually pretty obvious, quite frankly, which I figured it would be in the end. What else can I say? Oh, and I checked the vacuum carbon brushes. I was wondering how it was doing there, because I had it apart. I was able to pop the cap off and look at the brushes, and they've got at least 50% left, so the motor is in fine shape. And for whatever reason, the pump motor, I believe, is what has been the issue. I think it's just bagged out for some reason. And I opened up the diaphragm, and it looked, I was expecting maybe a split in there, but nope, it looked perfect. There was no buildup of anything in the pump or anything, so I guess the motor itself for some reason maybe went out. And that might be one reason, to be a factor, is that the heater, which is insulated and right beside the pump, but nevertheless the heat over time can affect the motors, but not a big deal. I mean, I've been running that thing very steady for the last 3 or 4 years, and things will wear out eventually, but it's easy to fix, and it's not going to be all that expensive. Under $400, I think, by the time I get it back together. So I'm not unhappy about that. Things do break, but anyway, in the meantime, I did have my other machine, which is my backup, which is the US Products PB3 Ultimate. And I actually had it for sale, and I had a couple of people inquiring about it, and I thought I had it sold and didn't sell, so I thought, okay, well, one of the reasons I'd kept the thing around was because in case the E600 did have a problem, or I needed to have a second machine on the job, I would have that machine. But anyway, so I thought, well, I better carry it with me. And although I didn't actually have any furniture scheduled today, when I got here, the customer said, oh, by the way, can you do the couch while you're here? I was like, okay. So, fortunately, I had the PB3, US Products PB3 machine with me, and so I was able to do a microfiber couch, which I've cleaned before, 2 or 3 years ago, I guess, and it worked beautiful. And I originally, when I was using the PB3, I was using the 3-inch wide internal jet PMF tool, because the 4-inch wide, the pump in the PB3 is unique. It's an impeller pump, because the machine is actually designed to be able to run solvent through it if you want to. So it has an impeller pump rather than a diaphragm. It's only 55 psi, which obviously isn't very much pressure, but it runs on a single cord, but it has a heater in it, and it heats up it'll heat up cold water to 212 degrees. In fact, it does run hotter than the E600, which runs on a separate cord for the heater. But I was cleaning away with it, and oh my goodness, it gets hot. Painfully hot on my hands sometimes, actually. But now, normally in the past I've used the 3-inch tool, but I do have, in the last while, I guess almost a year now, I've got the what's called the Stealth internal jet tool with a clear acrylic head on it, and it's a little bit wider than the metal PMF tool, the 3-inch wide, so it's probably 3.5 inches wide. And I thought that it might not work, because what I found with the wider tool, the 4-inch wide tool with the PB3, was that the spray being only 55 psi, it just didn't spray out quite out to the edges of the tool. So that was one reason why I was using the smaller tool, which, being a smaller tool, you're doing more passes to get the same thing done, so not a big deal. I mean, anyway, so I thought I hadn't tried it before, but I decided I'll try the Stealth internal jet tool with the acrylic head and see if it'll work. I didn't expect that it would, but it worked perfect. It was absolutely ideal. So that was really, really good. So the couch cleaned beautiful, and it dried very rapidly. Most of it's dry already now. I just finished it, obviously, and then I came down here and vacuumed. Yeah, the machine worked absolutely wonderful. And I probably used about three, maybe 3.5 gallons of water in total on the couch. It was like a couch with the seat cushions were attached, as well as the back cushions, but it was one of those ones that has the pull-out bed thing on one side. Anyway, it cleaned beautiful. The stains, I got them out. Yeah, it just worked great. So I actually had it on Facebook Marketplace, but I've taken it off because I think, well, clearly this machine, it works perfectly fine, and it's not. I mean, if I sell it, maybe I get $1,000 for it. That's what I was asking. But this week, while I'm waiting for the pump, between the couch that I did today and I've got a job on Friday as well, the money I make from these jobs that I would not have been able to do had I not had this machine will pay for the pump. So I guess what I'm saying is, I guess I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to hang on to it because it didn't cost me very much money, actually. It needed a bit of repair when I got it, just new carbon brushes, and the pump had a leak in it that was actually relatively easy to fix, or was actually really easy to fix. So, yeah, I'm going to hang on to it as a backup, or and I have used it in the past where I was doing a great big furniture job, and I had my friend Roger come along, and he was using my other machine, which at the time I was using the Von Schroeder, so he was using that, and I was using the PB3, and we banged off a very large job that I was doing where I did, I don't know, a dozen or more pieces of furniture and carpet. So I guess I'm going to keep the PB3 as a backup, or as an add-on, as it were. And yeah, I think that's the wise thing to do. And by the way, look how this is cleaning. Beautiful. I think I mentioned this is a Triexta, so they actually do clean pretty darn well with the hogs-Dry fibre pad and a good quality professional grade cleaner, which of course is what I'm using. Right technique, right chemistry, a little bit of skill operating your machine, and they clean beautiful, actually, I find. Anyway, yeah, this job turned out to be considerably more than I expected it would be, which is great because we're in a really slow period right now, although the phone is starting to ring and we're booking jobs. So that's good. Couple of odd looking marks in this area here. There's a dog, actually there's two dogs in this house. 8-month-old, and I think the other one is 15 actually, but it's at the vet right now getting dental work apparently. That'll be pricey. Okay, we'll go back over here and we'll do the extraction pass. Looking good. Yeah, it pulls hair out of the carpet very effectively. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Now this is cleaning beautiful. In fact, I've been here before. It's been at least 2 years since I was here. And when I got here, the customer told me, he said, yeah, we got your back. He said, because when you're here before, you did such a great job. So, we got your back. So that's the best way to run your business. Just do a great job every time. That dark mark where in front of the couch, where the couch was sitting, all gone. There's a little bit of wear there, of course, but the soiling, stains are all gone. And they won't come back. That's the beauty of the set method. Soil extraction transfer technology, when done correctly with the right products, right technique, and an operator knows what they're doing. It's the only way to go in most cases. And the cost of operating your business is way less than if you had a truck mount. Even the chemistry amount of money you spend on your chemistry is considerably less, because it just goes so far. I'll use probably maybe a gallon of solution for this whole basement area, maybe, and that's 2 ounces of actual product, plus well, not even an ounce of the suspend. So the cost of operating, which is a factor, is going to be considerably less with the set method. But it does take a little bit of practice and a little bit of experience to really get skillful at operating your equipment and getting the results that you're after. And of course, if you watch my videos, you know I'm very much a firm believer that the rotary is the better way to go, but if OP is your thing, that's fine too. You can do that. Which reminds me, I had somebody, I've got the Challenger OP machine on Facebook Marketplace trying to sell it. And I had somebody has a hotel in Vernon, which is like, well, 30 or 45 minutes north of Kelowna, and he asked me if I would trade the Challenger for, I don't know, a few days or nights or whatever in his hotel. It's like, really? Why would I want to go and stay in a hotel in Vernon? Obviously I shouldn't have bought that machine, but anyway, I really wanted to see what the story was on that machine. Somebody was out there using it, had a lot of videos, and for a while I thought it was the thing to go with them. And then what do you know? I think it was around about the same time that I actually bought the Challenger, or not long after that, he saw the light and changed over to rotary, and he realizes this far superior performance and ease of use and simplicity, and much more enjoyable and easier on the body physically. All better. So there you go. What do you know? So now I've got to get over there. I didn't go over there with the fiber pad because it really doesn't need it there. Get rid of the this gate. So this ought to be interesting to see how the pad looks. I think it's actually going to be pretty black. That's my guess. Even though the carpet really doesn't look that bad. But I find the Triextas can really hold a lot of oils, because there's an oil-based carpet, so that's one of the characteristics of them. So let's see. Yeah, that's pretty dirty, isn't it? Oh yeah. Okay, let's do the B side for the and the traffic areas anyway. Just take a couple minutes. Not a big deal. So, one thing to remember is that this machine is turning that pad on the carpet 360 degrees, and as I'm overlapping it comes out the fibers from every direction, of course, it's doing that 5 times per second. That's a tremendous amount of energy being transferred into the carpet fiber. The pad is just flying across the fiber, and it will dig down as far as it reaches, depending on the yarn, and it'll lean the yarn over and literally pull the soil up the yarn. And then as it goes, the opposite side comes over, it'll be leaning it the opposite way. So yes, in almost every case, we're going over the carpet fiber from every direction. The only place we don't is right along the very edges, where it almost never matters anyway. And if it ever is an issue, well, we can deal with that with hand tools if need be. But that's pretty rare, actually. So when people tell you that you're only cleaning one side of the yarn, well, they're either, quite frankly, really being ignorant, or they're lying. Because obviously you're coming at the carpet yarn 360 degrees when you go over that, say that spot right there, that left side, right side, that, it just anyway, I've explained it before. It seems so obvious, I guess, but for some reason, you see, when orbital machines first came on the market, the hype, quite frankly, that came along with them, and the things that were said, that people just really didn't pay attention to is this person actually telling the truth, or are they, as somebody once said, and I thought this was a very appropriate, you really get the whole truth from somebody who has something to sell. So bear that in mind. Quite frankly, if I went back in time years ago, when I first bought my first OP machine, I would say to myself, don't bother. There is absolutely no advantage here. You won't clean faster, you won't clean better. Not when you really understand how to use the rotary skillfully with the right attachments, etc. There's just no advantage to the orbital machine. The only advantage, as far as I'm concerned, is that you can hand an orbital machine, a wheels down machine like a Vibe or any of those type of machines, to a novice, and they can very quickly become quite skillful at operating it. There's no learning curve like there would be with a rotary, which does take a little bit of time to get skillful at. But most of the guys that really focus on, you'll find that the guys that have actually switched away from the orbital machines, in almost every case you'll find are guys that are owner operators who are focused on just being as skillful as they can at getting the results on the carpet. And when they take a look at the whole orbital versus rotary debate objectively, and they actually give a genuine try to using the rotary, when they actually understand how to use it, they will abandon the orbital machine in almost every case. Not that they, I know a few guys have done that anyway, but what can I say? I don't think it's something we should argue about, really. It's just a matter of preference. I don't care what people clean with, but I've always stood up for the rotary machine on my channel ever since I started, which was 13 or 14 years ago. I've always said this is the way to go. I haven't changed my tune, other than I have said in the past that orbital is a great option, and I thought it was a good option for commercial, at least. But when I really understood the advantage of the high-speed machine, which this is, then any advantage that orbital has, as far as I'm concerned, on a commercial carpet is just not there anymore, because I can clean faster with this. Anyway, let's have a look at the pad. Okay, that's much better. Definitely later. Yeah. Okay. We'll let the encapsulation do the rest. So I'll be running the vacuum over it in a few minutes. I got to go do the steps next. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.